Okay, so Echo episode 4. It starts off with where the last episode left off, with her freaking out that Wilson Fisk is right in front of her. And he has a bunch of men, and their only purpose is to hold her down so he could put a contact lens inside of her, inside her eye, so she could do sign language that way, because we saw that in a flashback that after he decided that her services were over, he had the interpreter killed, which I'm sure doesn't surprise anyone. I mean, it shocked me, but I guess I'm not surprised because, who knows what secrets she knew, like literally where the bodies were buried, so understandable. But he does that all because he wants to have a Sunday family dinner with her, which she just casually points out that it's Thursday. So he has a bottle of wine and a basket of apparently her favorites. And he gives her the wine, and I honestly thought she was going to use, aim the bottle towards him so she could hit him with the cork, maybe knock him out with the cork or something. But no, she just poured all the wine down the drain and opens them. I don't know if it was a couple of sodas, a couple of beers, I don't know. And so Wilson's like, Kingpin's like, what happened to the wine? I poured it down the drain. And he's like, oh, and it came highly recommended too. And he's trying to tell her that, oh, I could see the look on your face. You were actually relieved to see me. And he's trying really, really hard to gaslight Maya. Oh my God, I can't talk suddenly. Gaslight Maya, simply so she would and get back into the fold. So this time he gives her the option of, you can become, you want my empire, fine, you can have it. Just come back with me. And my first thought is, there is no way in hell Kingpin is giving up his empire willingly. He's not doing that because, well, he's Kingpin. He wants power. He wants control. He was willing to, if this was still canon, I'm sure he would have been fine with sharing this with Vanessa without 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 hesitation. But there is no way he would willingly give up his empire for Maya. He might he basically wanted her back in the fold. So he leaves without them actually eating, by the way. He leaves. She goes to visit Uncle Henry and lets him know what's going on. And it sounds like she was actually contemplating becoming Queen Pin. And Henry's like, don't be stupid. And so then he explained how, I don't want you to become like me. I don't want you to be 45 and alone, because he killed everyone you care about. Which makes me wonder why you're still working for him. I mean, it's Fisk shipping. I mean, if he's killing everybody you care about, why would you be working for him? Are you guys so hard up for business that you had to do that? I mean, he has his skate rink, and apparently that's quite popular, so... But anyway. So, as they're chatting, first Chula she goes to a friend to put up vending booths, and suddenly she gets a vision. A vision all the of all the people who who we've seen before, starting with the first Choctaw through the one who was in what looked like the Old West. And Maya is also having that vision. And Maya's vision is more of like a seizure. And I mean, she wasn't convulsing, but she wasn't coming to, and Henry was freaking out. So he takes her to Chula to find out what the hell is going on. We then have this very bizarre and tense reunion between Chula and Maya. And Chula is trying to pretend like nothing's changed, like things were always, cordial. And Maya calls her on it. And so she says, "Okay, why are you here?" Maya tells her about her visions. And then Chula gave this cryptic, "Oh, it's about life and death situations. They appear when they're needed. And this happened to me last when I gave birth to your mother because it was a difficult labor." And I call bullshit because we saw her freeze a couple of times, and neither of them were life and death situations. I mean, one was for Maya, but when she had it while she was talking with Henry, there was nothing going on. So yeah, they had this very bizarre exchange, and so Maya leaves because, first Chula says how it's not that she hated her, but her father. But then she goes on to say, "You're just like him. And that's why I pushed you away." So first she was trying to convince Maya that she doesn't hate her, and then she's like, "Oh, but yeah, in fact I do." This conversation was so bizarre. So, and again, you hear what it sounds like is Maya whispering, which we know the actress doesn't do that. So I don't know if it's special effects gone amok, because like Wilson had that computerized voice interpreting what Maya is saying. So I don't know if it's that, or if it's like I initially suspected, that it's the person she's talking to who's just whispering to make sure that they're understanding what Maya's saying. But Henry asks how things went, and she goes, "I don't know, exhausting." And I have to admit, I have to agree with her. That was just weird. So they drive off, and then you see Maya um sitting on a dock, just thinking about all the people and moments in her life. And then she goes to confront Fisk and try to kill him again. And Fisk is aware of that. And he dares her to do it. I guess he figured that maybe if she doesn't, that means that there's still some affection for him, and that he could still bring her back into the fold, because he finally admits the truth that he's the one who killed his own father because he was a horrible human being, which he was. Um But Maya points out that he's never done anything for her. It's all been for him, and she's just been his puppet. I mean, he can't even gave her these contacts because he couldn't be bothered to learn sign language. So she's got you there. I mean, and even Fisk understood that, yeah, she's got me there. Didn't bother to learn sign language, and he's known her since she was a little kid. And the most he can muster is, I love you. And not even the shorthand of it. That's what was also weird about this, is that it wasn't ASL they were doing, it was Pidgin. Because he was even signing words like if. You don't do that in ASL. But anyway, I digress. So, and in the beginning of the episode, we saw little Maya watching Fisk beat the crap out of an ice cream vendor who was making fun of the fact that she couldn't talk. You know, because it's not like she was deaf or anything. But, and how she was just watching him beat the crap out of this guy and then put in a couple of kicks of her own. And that's when he realized that she's a gold mine for him. But anyway, all of that is happening, and so she's thinking about what to do, and so then she goes off on her motorcycle. But instead of going to Fisk's plane, which the way it was edited, I thought she was going to. No, she left town. God knows where she's going. And one of Fisk's men calls him and lets him know that he's lost her tail. That he can't find her. And so, of course, Fisk is pissed because he wants his number one weapon in his arsenal. And he thought he was making progress, which he was deluding himself if he actually thought that, because I guess he's so caught up in the fact that there are people who worship him and will do, or are just so afraid of him that they'll do whatever he wants regardless of what he's making them do, that it just never occurred to him that Maya would not be like that she's not afraid of him, and because of all his training, she's less afraid of him than she probably would have been. So, who knows where she's going, but yeah, Fisk is not happy. And that's how this episode ended, with that. Okay, what's going to happen? Is she going back to New York by herself? You know, that she is going back to New York like Fisk wants her to, but just not with him. Because she wants nothing to do with him. Even though Fisk can't seem to get that through this thick skull. I believe I covered everything on this episode. And with that, this is the penultimate one, so one episode left, and the series is done. So with that, I will see you guys in the next episode.